So in this video we are going to learn about how to move this light model as well as how to turn this light on and off. There is something interesting over here. What I've done, basically I've made a box, very small box over here. If you can see, this is a small box. With that I've attached this light. Okay, this is basically it's the spotlight. I've attached this light, you can see over here. Now I will also like to show you it in the world file. If you see this world file, what I have done is I've made a model. Inside that I made a link, and with that I have attached this spotlight. Okay, so you can see over here, this is the spotlight that I have attached. Now the important question is, how are we going to actually control this light? Now here the things become very interesting. If you go inside this light, then you will see something called diffuse values and names. So firstly I would like you to focus over here, name. So what you're seeing over here is basically the box name, then link name, then actually the light name. So if you see the sequence how it came, it is actually the box name, this link name is there, after that this light name is, that's basically the name of this light. Okay, interesting thing is how are we going to control this light? So there is something called diffuse over here. We will control this using this. So 2 to 5 are the maximum and 0 is the minimum value. If you know how images work, same logic is applied over here. So I'm making all other values 0. So these are basically RGBs, red, green and blue. I made red, full red, 225. That's why this color got to red. You can see this is a bright red color, and all other values are 0. That's why it became 0. Now see how I am changing the color just by changing diffuse value. Now I can also make it 0. Now you will see the color is gone. This is how we are going to turn it to. If I make 2 to 5, then it would be not just that value. For white color, what we need to make all the values 2 to 5. Then you will see it is going to turn on the light, and if I make all of them 0 0, then light is going to turn off. Okay, this is how we are going to actually control the light turning on and off. Now there are a few things you might be thinking, that if this light is attached to a box, then why it is not falling? So what I've done over here is there is something called gravity tag over here, and I made it to 0. That's why this body is not falling. Okay, so basically what we are going to write over here is a model plug. That's why this is within the scope of model. You can see this is within the scope of model, because we are going to write a model plugin. Now this model plugin will learn how using the model plugin we are going to control that light. Okay, that's interesting. With which topic we are going to control is, you see the name of this topic, Gazebo default, as the default name, and now the light modifier. As you can see from here, that light modifier is topic, that something says that we can, using this topic we can modify the light. So this is how I know that using this topic we'll be able to modify this light. Now the next important thing is this message. So what we are going to do in this video is basically to control the light we are going to publish on this topic. We'll control the diffuse value. Okay, so how we'll get this light? So as I already told you, we have to search it, the message, we have to search the first name, the initials. This light is the initial, not modify will be searching. We'll searching this light. Okay, so I will copy this down, just I will go on this messages, I will search, and I hope you know the location of this user include Gazebo. If you do not know, please check the previous videos. I've explained it very well. So this is the Google photographer. I will open this up. Now match the things from here. Here the things are very important. I want you to know them very well. Basically the first important thing, when you see any of the messages, firstly check what is the name of this message. This message name is light, and how we searched it, using the first initials of this topic, light, right? We search like this. What you see next is what are the required and what are optional. Like this is required, that means that we need to give the name. And what is name over here? If you see, this is the name, so here that will be the name. And what are the other values? All other values are optional, like light type is optional, If you want to control them, then you have to give, otherwise you do not need to give, but required is name. So name is very important over here, and within some minutes we'll see how to exactly get this name. That's interesting. And next is the diffuse value that we are going to control. So we have to control this diffuse value. More thing, you also keep on seeing the stripe. Now this is a string type, so by just using set name we'll be able to use this. But this is a type of color that we have imported color photographer from the other Google photo format. Okay, Google photo buffer message, that is color, so we'll have to call the set. I hope you know this concept from world plugin. I have very well explained over here, and if you do not know, please check that video out. Over here I'm just going to get you some little bit information on that, but let's now see what I've done. I've just made a cross package named light move plugin. Okay, so this is very similar to a model plugin, and I've just opened it in Visual Studio Code. Okay, so this is the code. Rest other things, CMake and package, you already know they are same. Now from here we'll see the code. Now see over here, firstly this Gazebo and common, both are always, most of the time we include this. We also include the physics. Factor 3 will include for controlling our model, and this color is for moving, changing the color of our light. Okay, so we'll see this. Now see, as I already told you, this we are inheriting a model plugin. That's why we have written this within the scope of model plugin. So we are just using the model plugin over here. We have inherited the model plugin. Now this load function, this pointers, this all things I've already explained. I hope that you know this. And this, now we have accessed this model and store on this model. As I told you, we are going to publish on this topic, light model top modifier topic, that I already told you. So what we have to write, we have to make a transport, that you already know. So transport is for publishing and subscribing. We are publishing, that's why we have made transport node. We have initialized it. Now we have written a light publisher that's going to publish on this topic. Should be something like this because I've defined all the private variable, and also I've told you the good practices. That's why better to use this keyword. Okay, so I made it, so I write it right now. And now this update connection is there because we are going to use this on update to move our model like we did in the model plugin. You know, we'll be moving the model. That's why I've used the update connection, and this update connection will start, and on update is going to filter with the time that you already know. This is that on update that will keep on changing every iteration. Okay, now from here the things get interesting. Now this model name is actually, we have, how we get this model name, you already know this function get name that we used in model plugin. Now we got the model name, but there are two other names. To get this complete name, what you need, this model name, this link name, as well as the light name. So then to get this you have to combine all of these things, model name and light name. How are we going to get this? This is something very interesting, because we are over here, we are going the concept of, basically we are going to play with the pointers. This world plugin is there na, so we are going to play with the model pointer, and we are going to get all the naming from there, so that even if you change this name, even if you change this name, then any other thing, then our code is not going to get affected. Will always. Okay, so let's see this using a block diagram that I've already made for you. So we are going to see these 4 lines of code over here that will get us the link name and the light name. And why I've used the auto in front of it, so that I do not need to define the data type. In C++ 11 and onwards, you can use this auto keyword instead of giving the data type name. Okay, these are the local variables. This is the data member. Okay, so that's why I've used this over here. Now let's see this how it actually works. So this is that model plugin that I've just now showed you over here, that world file. I've taken this important things from here. What we are going to do basically is actually very interesting. we will be playing with the pointers. As you already know the model pointer, that when we load the function, this model pointer comes in, which can point anything within the model scope from start to end of this model scope, right? So this, using this model scope, we are going to firstly convert it into an HDF. Why we are converting it into an HDF? Because this model pointer is a model pointer, not an HDF pointer, right? So to get element, as you know, if you know from the past that we did in world plugin, so to get element, this is the method number 3 from the world plugin, you will have to use a HDF, not the model pointer. So you will have to have a HDF pointer. So what's basically it get HDF function is doing, it's converting the model pointer into an HDF pointer. And from where you will get the definition of all this API. So I've already included the screens of this over here, as well as when you click on this link, you will get over here and you can read this detail of HDF. I also told you the ways how to get over here by using the namespace Gazebo physics model. Using this namespace, you can get over here. Now get back to over here. So using this model that can point to anything, we have converted into an HDF so that we can use the get element function like we did in world plugin. Method number 3, we use this get element to get the model from this model. Same way, what we are doing over here is we are getting this link name is there, so we are getting this link using this get HDF, then this is pointing this get element, so this will be stored in this. But okay, so this is the link. Now we got the link. Now what, how will get the link name? Now one more thing, if you remember the model pointer, so see how I am referring the things that we already know from the model pointer, world pointer. So world pointer, you remember this, how we used to get this when we had the well, within that parenthesis, when we had that well. So how will we were getting the model value? We were getting using this get function, remember? So this is that same get function and it is attached with the HDF. So now we converted it into HDF. Link is an HDF pointer. In this link we are going to get the name, and this name is of standard type string. That's why I've written it string over here. If would have been any other type like boolean, so I would return it boolean. Right now then link name, so this name actually represent this name, and this link one name will be stored on this link name. See how we use the things. Firstly we use this model to convert it into an HDF, and we got the link from here, link pointer from here, and this is that link pointer. Using this link pointer we get the link name. Same way I will get the light name. That is also interesting. Now we are again going to call this link pointer again. Why we are calling the link pointer? Because this light is defined within this link. And why we are not using this link by model method over here, link by this model, why we are not using this pointer? Because this model has link within it. Within this link, this is light. So parent of light is link, not the model. That's why we have to use this link pointer. See how pointer is switching from here to there. So we have used this link pointer. Basically this is that link pointer, and we have again used this link pointer to get element. This is that same function. So how we get this element? Now we get the light element. So this is an HDF. This is an HDF pointer of type light. Basically this is an HDF pointer, and now using that HDF pointer we are again using this get, see over here, string name, to get the name of this part, right? So we are getting this name over here. Understood this? What we have done, we have just used get element two times, and we have used this get to get the name of this. See, we, we use this pointer link HDF light pointer to point to this, and with the get we got the name of this. I hope you got this. Also I would like you to visit this page and see. Now this was very important, that's why I use that diagram. Now I hope from here to here your point is clear, understood how the things working over, and I've used auto so that I do not to care about the data type and all. So Now we got the link name, we got the light name. So what is basically the complete light name is, what is the complete light name? Model name plus link name plus light name, that I've showed you over here. Model name plus link name plus light name, that's I've stored on complete name. Why? Because when we are going to publish on this topic, we'll have to define this name perfectly, otherwise this is not going to control the light, will not be able to turn it on and okay. Now here comes the publisher part of it. So we have written this publisher, we have defined the publisher, light publisher over here. Now we are going to use that publisher to control this. Is a good practice, I wrote it. Now how are we going to set? Firstly we'll set the name, right, like we did on the message. Firstly we define the messages. Before that, see what I've done, I've made a function, control light. I made this function and I'm just going to call this function and give it true or false value, and this function is going to turn light and off by publishing this topic. So this function is there. So this is that message. So how we define a message, we just make that message, as I'd already told you, it's of type light. It is of type light, that's why I've used message light and I've defined a light message. Now how we'll set the name, because this is thing, so we do not need to worry about it, we can just use the dot and just set the name. Now how are we going to set this? So I'm opening this in Visual Studio Code to show you. If you remember this properly, then we are again going to call that set. Why? Because this is not that normal message. This light that you see over here, this light was there, light message is there now. So this is not a normal message. You see this colored diffusion, this is not a normal message. This is not a string, not a float, not normal messages. This is defined within the other color photo buffer. So that's complicated. Now how we did it in world plugin, if you remember, we use the message set. This function we use, same we are going to use over here. And this light message mutable pointer is there, this is a pointer. This function we were using, like go down and show you this message color set we used over there. You go on Gazebo messages, you go on Gazebo messages, to go within this Gazebo messages, then you will find it. Okay, so where you will find it? So you will find it in Gazebo message set. We were setting pose over there, if you remember. Now we are setting the color over here. So we'll need this pointer as well as this common message type. It can be ignition mathematics as well. That's not written over here, but you can understand this. So this pointer, from where this pointer will be coming? This will be again coming from this mutable pointers. This mutable diffuse is there. This is a pointer. I hope that you remember this from world plugin. If you do not, just take that out. Over there I have explained it in much more detail. So now we set this, we get this mutable diffuse pointer from here. Now we are going to use the initial mathematics color. So I'm not going to open those links, but this link is there. If you open this link, you will get this mathematics color detail over here. So this is that color that we are going to use over here. Initial mathematics color is there, so RGB values we are going to set over here using. But there is a difference from this. What is the difference? That when we are setting over here, what we are setting? We are setting this 0 or 225. So we are setting like this. Either of the values we are setting. But when we are using this color function, we do not have option to set like this. Either we have to use fractionals to set this. Okay, so I've used a fractional value over here. 0 you can understand, and this last value will always be 1, because if you see over here, this is the maximum value within this alpha. This diffuse is there, so maximum is 1. So that I have converted into a fractional value. Okay, so that I can convert it into this. Okay, so when this is active, whenever we get this value as true, then we are going to make it white light. Basically we are going to give all of them equal value, so it will convert into a white light. Whenever want to have a black light, basically no light, then we are going to give 000 values on this. This is very easy to understand. This will print out light on, light off. So this is how it's going to do. This light publisher is there, it will publish on that topic, and that will work. Hope up to this is very clear to you. There are some reference from the past, so please do watch the videos in very much sequence. Okay, now on update is there. What is this on update? This, whenever this world plugin start, this on update is going to continuously keep on working with the all simulation it does, so it will keep on increasing. So I've again used that same counter that we used on the model plugin. So this counter is there, so this will keep on incrementing. Now what I've done over here, I would explain this with the help of a diagram so that you can easily understand. So see, whenever this counter is less than, whenever this count is less than 10,000, then what is going to happen, we are going to set this. I hope you remember the set linear velocity we did in the last tutorials model plugins. So this ignition mathematics vector 3 we are using this. So we are going to move the model in x direction till this count is less than 10,000. We are going to move it in x direction, and light is on because by default light is on. By default the light is on, but because we have till now not turned it off, so initially it will be on. This light is on. Now we are moving it in x direction. Okay, so this line is clear. Now when this count reaches 10,000, it is constantly increasing. Now this count, whenever this count reaches 10,000, we are going to turn this light off using this control light function. This function that I just told you, this control light is there. So this, using this function, I've called this function over here, I have given false value, which internally is going to publish on this topic, and this light will turn off. Okay, so this light turns off over here, and this reaches 10,000 count. And when this count gets more than 10,000, then what is going to happen, model is going to move it in minus x direction with the same speed. So it's moving in minus x direction, so it went to over here. It first came from here, now it's going back. Now when it reaches the 220,000 mark, so again light is going to turn on again. Now light turn on, so if you see it is repeating. Now when it is from 20,000 count, light is, this count is going to reset, and again this whole process is going to restart. That we saw, this again was over here, then it will again move. So it is going to repeat from this point to this point, is things like this. So I hope everything is clear up to here. And lastly, I've written all the private members here, and we registered this. Now let me uncomment this. Going to build this, building this. I will wait for some time to build up. Already told you this light launch we are going to launch right now. Okay, so this is already there. Now we are going to copy this, launch this. I've copied this. Now you can here, when this less than 10,000, it's light was on, now light is off. Is going back, is going back and back. Now light will turn off, turned on over here. Now it will again go up to here till that count is 10,000. Now when it reaches 10,000, it's going to turn off, and again going to come back, and this is what it's going to repeat. If you see the terminal, then you can light off, on, this message is coming on. Okay, so this constantly this message. If you see one other thing as well that we printed on this topic, so we printed this create light name. So this is very important, this should be correct. So you can see over here, this is that light name, box link user pointer light 1. So this is that complete name. How I did, I explained you already, and you see this light name matches with this box link user pointer spotlight. So you see this needs to match with the name that we have given over here, this name. Otherwise when you publish on this topic, then it is not going to work because that doesn't this no. So this is very important. I've just combined them using this scope resolution operator with plus plus plus, all are combined over here, and we have just printed. Okay, so I hope you understood this plugin very well right from the start to end. Hope you enjoyed this video. So that's it in this video.